financial independence, and I've been hearing about that since I was young, and basically I've always tried to reach that stage, and I don't know if it's not a bit of a chimera, because maybe I just, again, maybe it was the wrong end of it, but actually I've been hearing that since I was young. After I finished my studies, then the way to achieve financial freedom and independence was through entrepreneurship. I've basically been an entrepreneur my whole life, but I don't feel like I've ever reached any kind of freedom. I actually see it more as a lack of freedom, because I was just, and under the pressure of having to come up with money for salaries, for rent, I had to earn enough for all these things, so it actually tied me down more than it set me free. I just don't have that feeling of liberation. And now lately, or actually for quite a long time now, the concept of financial freedom keeps coming up for me again and again. And now, not in relation to business anymore, but to trading. And as far as trading goes, I'm doing well. I'm satisfied with trading. But I definitely wouldn't really call trading true financial freedom. It's true that I can choose when I want to trade, since actually I'm not really limited in how much money can be made on forex. You could even say that, at least partially, if I plan it, though I haven't taken that step yet, and I make a larger amount of money according to the plan, then maybe I don't have to work at all for a month, and that could be called a certain kind of financial freedom, or even just freedom in general. That's also true, but I haven't really achieved that either, because you don't want to fall out of touch with the markets. On the other hand, there's a kind of FOMO. You don't want to miss out on the opportunities that are there in the market, but it's not like I never take a vacation. On the contrary, if I decide, for example, that I'm going to take a 14-day vacation and go somewhere with the kids, then I do that intentionally. But for me to actually feel that it really doesn't matter, if I get up today and want to trade, then I'll trade, or if I just don't feel like it today, then I won't trade. I won't even look at the charts. Then I think a person will never get very far with that attitude. You need a certain level of discipline, just like with going to the gym or anything else. If I want to be a big bodybuilder, then I simply have to have that discipline, and even if I don't feel like it 1,000 times, I still have to do it. And there are also a lot of unpopular things in trading that people don't want to do, like keeping a journal in some spreadsheet so I can evaluate it, doing some back testing, reviewing my own trades, and so on and so forth. There are just a lot of unpopular things, and those need to be done too. And again, it's necessary to do them, not because we're trying to make things harder for each other or to create some kind of hassle, but I see it as something that will ultimately make you a better trader. It's about those small steps that if I write things down in my journals, I have something to evaluate, something to learn from, and it can move me forward. It's a kind of interconnected journey. And on this journey, I can't find the freedom that everyone talks about here, that we will be free. I haven't found it. It's possible that I just haven't reached that point yet. It's possible that financial freedom is still ahead of me, and that I will discover that. And then, of course, I will be happy to report that I am generally free, both in terms of time and finances. So far, I haven't achieved that. And now the question is whether anyone has actually achieved it at all, or if it's just something people don't talk about. Or maybe someone really has achieved it. Sometimes you also need to tell yourself, enough. That means I already have enough money saved up, so now I can start enjoying that financial freedom, that time freedom, and all those things. I don't even know anyone in my circle who would say, I've earned enough now. I don't. And now, Even if I look outside of trading, at the world in general, when would someone like Musk, for example, say, I have enough? Or, I don't know, I honestly can't think of anyone who would say, I've earned enough, I'm not going to work anymore. And I think there will be a person like this on the planet, I believe it. I don't know him. If you know someone, I'd appreciate it if you write in the comments if it's this person, or if you give me an example of someone, because maybe I should learn more about that, and maybe I should move forward myself a little bit, but so far I don't know anyone like that. Maybe if I really approached it from a different angle and started doing what people talk about a lot these days, because the internet is full of information about investments. And if I had started investing as a young guy, but back then I was interested in completely different things, girls and discos and just totally different stuff. And if I had taken some small amount of money, so back then, and in some way at least put aside half of it and invested it into some kind of asset, nowadays it's really easy to just click anywhere and on those investment platforms, or really how to invest in anything, any stock, some index or whatever. It's very simple. So if I had done that a long time ago, then probably by now I would already be quite financially independent. Maybe yes, because over all those years, if I had started when I was 20, 18 to 20 years old, and now I'm 50, that's roughly 30 years. If I had invested regularly, and we know from the snowball effect that it accumulates, that interest compounds and so on, that the curve really rises dramatically over 30 years. So if I had done this, I would probably really be probably financially independent. I didn't take that step. I had completely different interests. And at that time, I wasn't financially literate like that. Today, I try to guide my children in this direction, but I myself wasn't financially literate like that. So I didn't do these things. These days, of course, I regularly set aside some money for the stock markets, but for us, I can't manage to make it happen at the last minute now, like generating so much money in the last 5 years that I wouldn't have to work anymore, that I could live off the dividends, live off the growth, the appreciation of those assets, and so on. So I haven't invested that much money there yet. And in fact, it's trading itself that supports me. So, and trading supports me precisely because I devote myself to it. I think that if I stop focusing on it, I would have plenty of free time, but those income streams would soon dry up. So, and then it would take time to get back into it and so on. So I keep myself in a certain state, and I don't feel like it's some kind of extreme freedom. On the contrary, I actually feel somewhat constrained by the awareness that I have to earn enough for all of this. It's not like I'm complaining or saying that it sucks or anything like that. No, there are some reserves, but I didn't build them up just to systematically burn through them. That would be for some unexpected event if it happened, or if I couldn't trade, so that we would have some time to deal with it, so I could do something else, for example. But to intentionally just live off what I earn until I spend it all, and do nothing in the meantime, that's completely out of the question for me. Or it's a totally different kind of business. So financial freedom is a great topic, but maybe I'd like to meet someone who says, yeah, I've achieved all the freedoms, I have enough, I don't need anything more, I've earned plenty, and I'm actually not going to work anymore. It's not that I don't enjoy traveling the world and so on, that's not what I'm saying, but I just think that maybe it's also because I'm not one of the most extremely successful people in the world. I'm just a fairly standard trader. I'm not at the bottom, but I'm not at the very top either. You definitely won't ever read about me in Forbes, but I'm a standard trader. It's just kind of like a normal business for me. Sometimes you earn more, sometimes less. It's definitely not that I wouldn't know how to make more money. Nowadays, with the opportunities that prop firms offer you, it's just a lot of money. A $400,000 account, that's really big money, and you just take home 3 to 5% a month. And from my perspective, that's plenty of money. But the next month, I have to go for that 3 to 5% again, or I would have to really cut back on unnecessary expenses that we have here. But those are the things that make us happy. Our family enjoys them, like going out to eat, going somewhere, taking a trip, to enjoy life, not to the extreme, but just to really enjoy it. But I still have to trade. If I stop, I just won't get back to it. So I'm actually quite curious to know about your reactions. How are you doing with your financial freedom these days? Are you personally doing this for financial freedom? Is that a topic that genuinely interests you, or will you just keep on generating money as long as you possibly can? Try to give me some feedback down below. Of course, no one has subscribed yet, and so on. Subscribe to the channel right now so you really don't miss any videos. And if I succeeded in really drawing you into the topic even a little and made you think about it, then try giving me a thumbs up. For me, that will be some feedback that at least someone thought about it, that the topic isn't completely pointless. Take care.